"You're a traitor," my father-in-law thundered, his metals rattling with every breath. The courtroom was silent, every uniform stiff with judgment. He reached for my collar with shaking hands, tearing off the insignia I'd bled for. "You don't deserve the rank of captain." I stood there, silent, watching. Then he spun me around, exposing my back to the crowd, and the room stopped breathing. There, inked between my shoulder blades, the tattoo. Black, precise, unmistakable, a double-forged trident crossed with the eye of command. Classified, recognized by only the highest echelons of naval intelligence. His voice caught before he could shout again. A chair scraped back. An admiral, one who had spent most of my life ignoring me, rose slowly to his feet, mouth parting. "Sir," he whispered, "oh God, he outranks you." I met Elira in the academy. Her laugh was like thunder on water. Dangerous, beautiful. We sparred the first time we met. She bloodied my lip, I cracked her ribs. We fell in love on the mat, between bruises and bruising truths. She introduced me to her father, General Voss, like I was some rescue she'd pulled from the wreckage. I didn't fit his mold. Too quiet, too watchful. I knew how to make a knife disappear into a rib cage without a sound. He preferred men who barked orders over breakfast. But I played the part, smiled at dinners, took the missions he recommended, married his daughter with a perfect posture and a hollow ring on my finger. Because love? Love was real, until it wasn't. It started with silence. Elira changed her passcodes. Her deployment schedule shifted oddly, always near her father's shadow. They whispered behind closed doors. A message intercepted on a routine scan caught my eye. He suspects nothing. We move after the ceremony. They weren't talking about the enemy. They were talking about me. That was the night the wind changed in my lungs. I didn't confront her. That's the mistake they all make, screaming too soon, bleeding on blades they haven't yet sharpened. Instead, I smiled wider. Over the next 3 months, I gave them just enough rope. I left breadcrumbs, orders unsigned, calls half-recorded, fake hesitations in my eyes. I watched her run every report straight to her father. They thought they were leading a ghost, but I was building a noose. And I knew exactly how far it had to stretch. I dug into Voss's networks, found the black accounts, the off-record arms deals. He wasn't just a decorated general, he was a war profiteer. Elira? She was the key, front-facing, clean record, charming enough to slip under radar. They used marriage to keep me close, monitor my movements, study my missions, groomed me for execution the moment I asked the wrong question. So I gave them the wrongest question of all. Then I disappeared, just long enough to trigger their panic. I returned 3 days before the Naval Tribunal, the ceremony Elira herself insisted I attend. She thought it was my funeral. Now, in this cold-lit courtroom, Voss is frozen. The Admiral's eyes are locked on the tattoo. His voice trembles. "That's not just a rank. That's Blackwatch Division." Gasps, stifled. He continues, louder now. "Only 5 living operatives have that designation, and they report only to command." I finished, turning to face them. "And no, General, you're not command." I stepped forward, tossed a file onto the tribunal's desk. Inside, wire transfers, encrypted logs, audio of Elira's confession whispered into what she thought was a dead comms channel. All linked, all verified. I let the silence crawl across their faces like fire on oil. Then I looked at her. Elira's lip trembled, but I saw no tears, just calculation. Even now. "Why?" she whispered. I walked closer, enough to smell the fear pushing through her perfume. "You shouldn't have used love as a weapon," I said. "You taught me how to kill for duty, but you forgot? I learned how to kill for silence." The tribunal disarmed Voss by force. His medals hit the floor like cheap coins. Elira was taken last. No cuffs, no screams, just a look between us as they led her away. A flicker of something that might have been regret, or just the realization she lost. But I didn't watch her leave. I faced forward. They offered promotion, power, public praise. I declined. I disappeared again, this time on my own terms. People like me don't belong in light for long. We do the work others pretend doesn't exist. We live in shadows, and sometimes we burn them down from the inside. I never loved easily, but I loved her, and she used that like a scalpel, cutting deep, never messy. So when I took her down, I made sure it was clean. No blood, just consequences. The world will forget their names, but the scar on my back, that mark, that stays. Not as a reminder of pain, but as a warning.